and we are live for another week of D&D with our group, Armour Class Zero with a U. Welcome, welcome everybody.
You.
Hello.
Hello.
What up?
You're late to the party.
Sorry, I was just doing nothing
He
really.
was just
We're
plotting.
always late.
This is now
Oh,
you
yeah.
quote a very famous wizard and saying, "A DM is never late to the party. He arrives exactly when he intended."
Exactly.
I've heard that quote before.
Have you?
Yeah, I think so. Guy, pointy hat, beard.
Was it Vince?
Vince?
Yeah, he doesn't have a beard though.
Oh,
He does, not a big long one, just a scraggly one.
It's still a beard.
Probably scarred now.
a little scruff. Yeah.
It's probably got a cleft lip now after getting barred.
But that's so cool though.
Welcome everybody. Good for everybody to be back.
Yeah.
And I hope you had a good week. And I think it's just, I don't believe anybody has anything to say or stuff to share. So let's just dive right in. Did you see? There you go. Plunch. Come right in, guys. The water's just fine.
We need to make a noise like that
For now.
and just like play it like.
So, when we last left our heroes, I believe they were all pretty much on the side of a pond talking to a dryad who pointed her finger at Mr. Fluffles and asked, "What's that?" And
Over the hill, is it a monster?
apparently, you said it was a cat, but she disagreed.
No, Gemini doesn't. He didn't hear any of this because it was all in Elvish, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Elvish, exactly. So only Vince and Nim understood it, right?
Yeah.
Or Ellie, sorry.
Yeah.
Vince
you're-
will start casting detect magic.
All right. So you start moving around to cast a spell, and you see, you all see pretty much the dryad kind of looking a bit like she apparently knows that you're doing something, and she seems scared.
It's okay. Vince, what are you doing?
The cat's not a cat.
What now?
He's a cat! And I will like
He's like,
grab
just-
Fluffles and like try to protect him from Vince.
He's like, just give me a minute while I figure out what's going on.
Turn to the dryad. And in Sylvan, I'll ask, why is this happening? He says the cat is not a cat. What is?
She looks at all of you for a moment. Varen, I'm drawing a little bit of a blank. Are you within sight? Are you with the party again, or did you keep your distance?
I sort of sitting at the tree line within sight and hearing range, but I rolled. I didn't hear that.
Sorry, you?
I just sort of rolled to see if he heard it, if he was paying attention, but I don't think he heard Vince.
Okay, but do the others see you, or do you just see them?
Oh, I could see them. Yeah, I could see them or within sight.
Yeah, but do they see you? Are you like within? Pretty much, you're standing together as a group, or are you at a bigger distance?
I am probably further away.
Okay. So then she'll kind of look at the three of you, and she looks at you, Gemini, and says, "The gnome believes that the creature is a cat."
Well, it does look like one. If it's not a cat, what is
She
it?
looks puzzling at the cat. You don't know.
No.
She looks at the cat and makes not similar sounds, but sounds that you would somehow, for somehow connect to in similarity to what she did when she was trying to communicate with Hoot.
Right.
And you see Fluffles like look up, surprised, and look at her, and you're still holding him, and he's kind of leaning from your hands, kind of leaning towards her, and she looks at you and says, "He doesn't want me to tell."
And she's saying this to me?
Yeah, because you were talking to her.
And they can't understand this.
No.
No, Vince is still sitting there going.
Yeah, if it's a spell, you cast it pretty much within 6 seconds. So
No, it's ritual. I don't
Ritual,
have it.
yeah.
oh, so
yeah,
okay, so it
10
takes a
minutes.
long time. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he dangerous to us or yourself?
She looks, and you see her brain is like connecting things, and she looks at you and says, I could tell you what he is, but I would ask a favor of you.
Mm-hmm. And what is this favor?
She comes closer towards you and says, so you guys don't understand what they're saying to each other, but they seem to kind of like, she's almost coming towards him as in like they're whispering together. And she says, there is a dark one here in the forest.
That's just Baron.
It's a bit racist.
If you would destroy it, you would make the forest a better place.
Okay. What kind of dark one?
I stay away from it, but I can point you where it is.
Is it large, giant-like?
No.
Balls. Okay. Well then,
You're speaking in Sylvan right now, yeah?
Yeah.
What is Sylvan for balls?
Good question.
Yeah, Gemini, what is Sylvan for balls?
I don't know. I didn't create the world, DM.
Oh man.
Okay. Well then, I will ask the others, and actually, I'll go talk to Baron. You can explain to them what you just told me, and maybe we can help you out. Does that sound good?
She nods.
Okay. And afterwards, maybe you can help us. You see, we're searching for a giant creature who's been murdering people, both in this forest and out of this forest, and we're trying to get him to stop murdering people.
Yes.
Excellent. And then Gemini's just going to kind of nod and smile and walk back to Bear.
All right. She then turns to you and switches to Elvish and says, I can tell you what it is, but I require a favor.
What's that?
There is a dark one here in the forest. If you would take care of it, you would make the forest a safer place. And I will tell you what it is.
Is this dark one a big thing?
No, it is not the giant your friend spoke of.
Ah. Is it in any way resistant to fire?
Good question.
Is it something that's maybe on fire or creates fire? Anything like that?
Why?
Just if it is, I'm not much use.
Please don't burn things.
Oh, no,
The
just
forest
the dark
doesn't
one.
like fire.
Oh no, I agree. I don't know. Fire is bad. But the dark one, does he like fire? Or she? Gender neutral. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay, fine. I'll deal with that dark one for you.
Good. Thank you. You arrive at Varen.
Varen is sort of he sort of has his legs crossed on the ground, and he's sort of going "Wusa," if you had ever heard it. He's just sort of meditating.
Stop that.
Yes, generally.
There, the dryad over there, she has informed us that the cat is not a cat. Don't think about that too much. What she needs from us, however, is there's apparently a dark one that's not you in this forest, and we have to go kill it. And then she'll help us with the giant and maybe tell us about Fluffles.
Okay. Is Fluffles within 30 feet of me?
I would think so. Probably, yeah.
It probably have died. Just in case I think it's maybe something different, I'm going to cast Divine Sense and see if I know if there's a celestial, a fiend, or an undead near me. 60 feet, actually, so.
No, there is not.
Okay.
You're a
Um,
cat, right?
Then I will
See?
turn to Gemini and be like, this dark one you speak of,
Yes.
it's not the creature we're hunting at the moment.
The giant, no, it is not. She appears to know of the giant, but that's not the thing that is disturbing her at the moment. However, she will help us locate the giant once we handle this bit of business. Call it a side quest, if you will.
Right. I don't know. How urgent do we need to defeat this giant?
I don't think we were given a time frame.
Yes, but things always do progress in time. It could be out destroying another village of orcs for all we know, but we need more information on this dark one.
Yes, I believe the others are handling that right now. Meanwhile,
Yeah, there's no point in going up against something we know nothing about. It could utterly wipe us out.
kind of like a giant, but we're doing that.
Okay, I
Right, you
will
know.
try to speak with this dryad and see if she knows more information.
Oh, that's not a good idea. Do you see she fears you because you're evil, I think. I'm not certain. I've tried to explain to her that you're not, but you know, people and their prejudices. So we're going to have to. And also, do you speak Elven or Sylvan?
No, I do not.
Then I don't think you can
my-
communicate with her.
My tongue would probably scare her even more.
Yes, yes.
So I am.
I mean, so would
used to
anyone
this.
if you went out and just started pointing your tongue at them. I mean,
I'm used to this. This ridicule.
Yes. You and I both. So, I guess we're going after this dark one. Apparently, she can lead us to it, so it shouldn't be too far out of the way.
Well, usually you do things for profit. You usually tell us
Yes.
that we should always ask for money or
Yes.
something before we agree to something. So what
Very
have you agreed to?
I've agreed to not. Well, she will help us find the giant, and she will tell us about Fluffles.
find the giant.
Yes.
Insight check.
Okay.
Roll for it.
Not great at insight.
What are you trying to perceive from him?
We try to ascertain if he is lying about the information that he's getting.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
This is 16.
A 16. No, you have the idea that he's completely truthful about this.
Right. Okay. Let's see what we can do then, I suppose.
Yes.
I don't like dark creatures, by the way.
Yes, I've ascertained that when you went all crazy pants on the undead and the orcs.
Oh, that was just undead.
Ah,
Dark creatures can be something completely different and more evil.
fair enough. We will have you be the front line then, and you can do your thing.
I don't know if I can do much against them.
You're a perplexing man. And then Gemini's going to just skip off back to the others.
I'll
All right.
sort of follow him, but stay a slightly further distance, not to scare the dryad.
Very well. Ellie, have you spoken anything more about with the dryad?
I am very perplexed, and I'm having a hard time imagining Fluffles not being a cat. Because I watch him grow. Slightly at
Fluffles is
least.
meanwhile has found his comfort back and is kind of laying in your arms.
You're a cat, right? You look like you purr like a cat. You're a cat. You will always be a cat to me.
You'd tell me if you weren't a cat, right? Yeah. What?
What?
Absolutely. What?
Yeah.
And
Yes,
you know what?
and a big, deep, burly
Duh.
voice. Yeah.
And you know what? Even if you're not a cat, I still like you.
I
That's
like you
good.
too.
All right.
More.
So
Has
the
Vince finished his spell?
no,
by
it
now?
takes 10 minutes, and this conversation is
Oh.
relatively short. So
Sorry, I'll carry on my.
Right. Well then, if Fluffles, yes, I'm assuming we're all back together.
mhm.
If Fluffles is not a cat, then I suppose it may be better to leave him or her here with the dryad while we go attacking. Just in case.
The dryad's eyes widen, and she kind of extends her hands towards Fluffles.
I mean, I suppose it might be safer. I will look at the dryad like she's the one telling me that Fluffles isn't a cat. But
Are
I
they
mean,
speaking in common or?
yeah, I'm speaking in common. But I mean, we tried to leave him at the inn where he was supposed to be safe,
Oh,
and he came
sorry.
and find me.
Sorry, Gemini. I thought you were speaking Sylvan.
No, I was talking to the group.
Oh, sorry. Then the dryad doesn't extend her arms or anything because she doesn't understand it. She kind of looks at you guys talking.
But he came and find us, or find me at least. And
Mm.
I mean, it's his choice, I suppose. If he wanna stay here with the dryad, it's okay. But if he's still gonna come and find me, it's better that he's with me from the start, right?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Was that cat with you from the start? Because life is not homeward bound. The cat's not just going to leave a comfortable place with the warmth and food to come traipsing out into the forest and somehow find you.
Cats are
I
smart.
am no, they're not.
He's right, you know.
I am concerned that maybe that Fluffles is not your Fluffles.
I agree.
I think you've just got DM disadvantage, Gemini. That's not a happy face from the DM. My God, smart.
He looks like he's about to laugh cry.
Uh,
Just
give me a saving throw. No, just
Anything.
Can't
And then
tell
I
it's a
think-
score, Civ, you know.
I will look at Fluffles. Can I tell if he's not my Fluffles?
Roll your perception
Ooh, perception.
or investigation.
That's pretty good. I rolled a 15. Perception is +4, investigation is +2. Okay, so I rolled a 19.
A 19. You kind of pick him up and kind of look at him carefully.
You're my Fluffles,
And-
right?
He certainly looks like your Fluffles. And you seem like.
Okay, I'm
doesn't-
sorry. I think it's my Fluffles. I mean, he purrs the same. He's back to purring. He does this all the time.
Well, if it is your Fluffles, then would you not want him or her to
Him?
be safe? Okay, him.
Uh,
To be safe and
well-
away from combat.
Of course, but if he comes and finds me, who knows what he'll run into? You're the one that keeps telling me that the forest is full of dangerous things.
Yes, and the Dryad knows where all of them are and cares deeply about animals, so she can keep Fluffles safe.
But what if he wanna be with me?
Well, then he can die. I don't care anymore. And Gemini walks off.
Okay.
Fluffles. I'm gonna put him down on the ground and sit down in front of him. Fluffles, this is very important. Do you wanna come with us? It might be very dangerous, or do you wanna stay here with the Dryad? No, Fluffles. I think you wanna stay with me.
Is that what he said?
No, but he usually seems to understand me.
I
And-
thought you could speak with animals.
Doesn't mean I can't speak with
Squeak and
Fluffles.
squawk.
Anyway, I do know that it's not evil.
See?
It's not any kind of celestial or fiend or undead. But it's
It's
not to
just-
say it's not a mischievous
Give us a
creature.
minute. Hold on.
Your spell is your ritual finally finishes.
Yes.
What do you do?
Wait for the DM to tell me what he found.
What do you do?
It's detect magic on the cat to see.
Okay. So you look around and do any of you have anything magical on you?
Maybe?
No. Fluffles.
No,
No, I don't think so, no.
Oh, I had that ring, but that's on me, I believe. I think I have that.
Ah, okay.
does my focus count as a magical item?
Oh,
No, technically.
No,
it
I don't
doesn't.
think
okay.
so.
Well, then,
Okay.
yeah. We're...
No, then it's not. Then I don't.
All right. So you see, there's I believe Varen is holding on to the potions, and so there's a slight magical aura coming from Varen, especially his below his backpack where he connected the
Rich.
potions.
Real Baron.
There is a magical energy coming from the Dryad, and especially there's a what do you call it? Is it a tangle vine? There's like a plant growing around her arm, and it kind of covers parts of her body. That seems to glow with magical energy, and that's it.
Nothing around the cat or.
Nope.
What about the brain juice that Vince has on him? Is that...
My back is just lit up like black pool illuminations.
Oh, he doesn't see his backpack, but
No, don't worry. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. No. Okay. Vince sort of like leans on his staff sort of pants and holds a couple of bruises that he has from before. He's like, that wasn't worth it.
See? Fluffles is Fluffles. I don't know what you were so worried about.
Fluffles isn't using magic. That doesn't mean Fluffles is Fluffles.
Fluffles is Fluffles. Okay.
We've said Fluffles entirely too many times. Should we get going?
Fluffles. Yes, Vince turns to the Dryad and goes, in Elvish, which way for the Dark One? And is there any other details you can tell us about it that might help?
She points in a direction, pretty much to the left side of where you guys from the direction you guys were moving in. And she kind of thinks for a moment and says, "It eats young ones."
Gemini, what did she say?
I don't speak Elvish.
She said it eats young ones.
Oh, what? What is your name in Sylvan?
Leaf?
Leaf. Leaf,
Original.
when you say it eats young ones, are you talking about animals, people, beings like yourself?
There are very few young ones like me. But animals, creatures, humans, all of them.
I see.
I
What does
think it
look
might
like?
contain energy from it. It seems to not care much for older things
Okay.
as a diet.
Would Vince have potentially read about any creatures that might fit this description? That
Vince doesn't know this description yet.
No,
Oh, he does not. Correct. Never mind.
nobody
Gemini,
does.
Is it natural of the forest?
Oh, is it from the forest, or does it come from further away? And what does it look like, if you can tell me?
I have never seen it myself. I only
Are we
hear
not
the
speaking Elvish? Because Vince asked her which direction and any details about it.
She's speaking.
no.
to
She's
Gemini.
because Gemini was speaking Sylvan to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then Vince asked in Elvish. Did he not? Did I not say?
No.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
you because that's the only language you can speak to her in.
Yeah, but then did she reply in Sylvan?
No, in Elvish.
Oh, so she replies to you in the language she understands from you, and she's switching languages
Yeah.
Yeah.
to respond to.
But then,
Okay.
so Vince asked the any details about the creature. So then Vince would know what.
Don't know.
I think. Sorry, I don't recall the exact how it went, but I believe you asked for where it is and details, and she kind of pointed out where it was, in what direction it was,
Right.
Yeah.
and then Gemini kind of said like, well, "Okay, do you know what it looks like? Can you tell us anything about it?" And then
What I asked was, does it eat? I asked it. You said it eats children because they relayed that. Let's just assume we're all relaying the information back to each
Yeah.
other.
Okay.
This is gonna get way too complicated.
Yes. Yeah.
Very complicated.
Okay. So, okay. Now, it eats. Okay. So she said she doesn't know what it looks like. Correct?
no, only creatures see it, and they speak of a large, dark humanoid entity that has long limbs and a foul smell to it.
Okay. I described Slender Man to everybody else, and then I'm gonna ask,
Oh, you
Okay.
beat it. I was just.
can you lead us to it? And would you be opposed to fighting it with us? If not, that's okay. We can take care of it. I just would like to know if you'll be joining us.
I do not fight. I can
Yeah.
I can lead you to where it has been seen,
Yes.
but I don't know where its lair is, and I do not wish it to see me.
That's completely fair. Okay, well, before we go, well, I suppose when we get there, can you give us anything that would help us in this fight? Some sort of, for lack of a better term, buff?
Buff.
Aid.
Yes. Aid. There we go. Thank you.
Ah. She plucks something from the overhanging tree, and as she does, it kind of changes in shape, and she hands it to you.
Mhm.
Here, and you see a twig with 10 juicy red berries.
Okay. I'll thank you, and I'll pocket it, and I'll turn to everybody and say, "Okay," and I'll explain everything that happened, and yeah, be like, "Okay, is everybody ready? Are we ready to go?"
Farron's gonna think about this. In his history of sort of like hunting evil things, would he know from this description? I know it's a very vague description. If he's heard of anything like this,
Roll your history.
Can I make a
And-
roll as well?
Ah, sure.
And I doubt Gemini would know anything like that. Correct?
Nah, there's.
I know
chances
absolutely
are-
nothing
I
about
think
this. That's a natural one.
Nope. You
That's
have
a
no
17.
idea. 17. You have a fair knowledge of creatures and of entities and things like that, but the description is so broad that it could be tons of things.
Right. Well then, off we go. And
Yes.
Gemini will kind of usher the Dryad gently, like, "Let us go."
Gemini, are you getting the information now or later?
For what? The giant?
For what she's doing in exchange.
Uh, she's going to tell us about the giant and about Fluffles, and I assume we have to do this first, or else we could just leave. So it would make
It's true.
yes, the most sense for us to handle this and then get the information we require.
Okay, just clarifying.
Yes.
So she steps out of the pool and leads you towards in the direction that she pointed when you asked where is this creature, and she starts to walk, and you, even though her tread is relatively casual, it's not like she's like la la, but she just she hasn't like a firm tread to her step.
Gemini is like la la.
You guys have trouble keeping up with her, because she's leading you deeper and deeper into the forest, and there's no paths whatsoever. So the bushes and the undergrowth are definitely not at the point where they're not passable, but they all bother you somewhat, and they don't seem to bother her at all. She just walks to it as if she's walking on a paved sidewalk. But quite quickly, when she noticed that you are slightly falling behind, she lowers her pace and keeps you close. And you walk for about 2.5, 3 hours.
I'll strike up a conversation with Gemini in Draconic.
Okay.
Assuming that the only other person who'll know that will be Nim. Do you trust this creature?
Well, she hasn't kicked me in the head recently, so yes.
I don't know why anyone would want to do that.
No, yes, that is
Scorn.
quite refreshing.
Okay. I don't know. I hear stories that you shouldn't trust creatures of the forest. They can be mischievous.
As
I
can
don't
creatures
know
of the
anything
city.
about these dryads, so
Well, I mean, what other option do we have? We don't have a solid lead on the giant. She's the first thing we've come across in a very long time, and when she did say that Fluffles was not a cat, Fluffles reacted not like a cat. So, thus far, I have no reason not to trust her, but that, of course, can change.
okay. And there is a possibility that this isn't the giant. This could be something else.
Well, this is the thing we're going after currently is most definitely something else, yes.
Okay. Well, I suppose we step to it then.
Yes. And I'll start playing Welcome to the Jungle as we go through.
As you guys
Draconic?
are speaking in Draconic,
In Draconic.
you, Ellie, are the only one besides the two of them that understands what they're saying. You do notice, all of you, that the Dryad leaf looks backwards often as you guys are talking, and you could probably Vince and Ellie can make out that she is hesitant and a bit um, uh, on edge is too much, but she's definitely keeping an eye on the two of them to not try not to be ambushed or anything. So you guys walk onwards, and after, as I said, 2 to 3 hours, she stops quite suddenly, and she kind of feels her hands, and she touches a tree, and she looks at the four of you and says, "This is as close as I can bring you."
Okay. So we just march on then, and it'll be in front of us somewhere.
Most likely, yes.
Excellent.
There's a fair chance the creature will find you. It doesn't like intruders.
Well, I am quite sneaky, so I don't think that'll be a problem.
Good.
Well then,
Once it is done, shall we meet again at the pond?
that is a fabulous idea.
Wonderful. Be safe.
You too.
She,
Before she leaves, I'm gonna look at my cat again and be like, "Are you
Mhm.
sure you wanna stay with me and not stay with the Dryad if it's safer?" And I would like put Fluffles down on the ground, so he has to make a choice.
He sits down.
Are you sure you wanna stay with me and not go with the Dryad?
Starts licking his crotch. Whole big leg in the air thing.
And I will switch over to Gnomish, because I probably spoke mostly in Gnomish to my cat before I went on the road and started meeting people. Fluffles, this is very important. Come on, I know you can understand me. Is this you saying that you want to stay? Because it's very important. I want you to be safe. Okay, you're staying. I will pick him up again and like place him on my shoulder slash backpack slash the hood of my cave like he is known to sit.
He cuddles in and just.
Yeah, cat stays. I just say this like I won this argument. The cat is staying.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Do you have the cat's stat screen up handy? I mean, you might need it during the initiative rolls.
how many hit
Yeah,
points does
maybe.
it have? Yeah.
4 probably.
So,
Just a cat.
Mm.
Leaf looks at you and says, "The best of luck to you. May you be safe." As she bows, and she then steps into a tree and is gone.
I bow back and turn around and start walking.
Vince sort of just like lifts his hat a little bit and then carries on.
Bye. Bye.
Very well.
Vern just follows Gemini.
just
So-
down around. Racist bitch.
I'm assuming, I don't know, did you relay that, Gemini?
What? That she's racist?
No, that what she said before she left.
No.
No, that I haven't a clue. I'm just following Gemini.
Yeah. Um.
Just
Can I-
no idea. What would it?
Wait, what did she say? Did I miss something?
She basically just said, "Be safe," and like, see you later.
Okay, that's what
Good
I
luck,
thought
have
I
fun.
heard.
Can I stealth ahead about 20 feet?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Moving in stealth is, however, you move slow. So
Yes.
if the rest of the party doesn't stealth, they'll constantly.
Yeah. Okay.
So they would
Yeah.
have to slow down as well if they want to keep the pretty much similar distance.
It's up to
Vince,
them, but
Vince
I'll
Vince is going to stay close to him and be like, "We're not splitting up. Not like last time. We're not having a repeat of that fucking circle. I could have stopped that.
That
And,
worked
like,
out
just-
well.
Just sort of keep walking while berating him. Just be like, we gotta
No.
start together.
No, it would have been fine if you guys hadn't rushed in because we were safe. We were good. We were on our way back. But then we had
But-
to go save you guys.
No,
This is
no,
true.
No. If you had have attacked right away and we had have been together, we could have stopped it before all the zombies came up. That was a ritual. I'd have killed him. Didn't listen to me.
You
I
didn't
don't believe I'm
say
doing this, but I have to agree with Vince.
Here's the issue.
All right, everybody. Thank you for playing, and we'll have a good evening.
That's it. That's the character arc. That's it. Done.
That's it. Done. Roll new character. Okay. Here's the issue. When we were fighting the skeletons and the goblins, they were not a giant threat on their own. This thing, she just said, I don't know if you heard, you couldn't have heard, she just said that it might find us first. So, if we have any chance of getting the jump on it, I'm probably going to have to stealth forward a bit and keep an eye out. And we're
But
going
what
to
if-
all have to be very quiet.
But what if it doesn't detect things by sight or sound? It might
Oh.
know we're already here, in which case it's coming towards us. In which case being sneaky isn't
You
going
see something flying up.
fucking see.
I will just like drop it down and be like, what was that?
I say we be loud and keep our eyes peeled and then hit it in the face with fucking everything that we have as soon as we see it.
I think we should put this to a vote because I am indifferent on this decision. I am not very good at stealthing because heavy armor is loud.
Yes.
Which means we would have to split.
I will leave it up to you. I can try, but it's not going to be good. Or we can do Vince's idea, or we can do both, which is I could be a shining beacon while you hide.
Well then, I vote for stealth.
I vote for not.
It's up to you, Nim.
More specifically, I vote for not splitting the party. So either all of
Well-
us have to stealth or none of us. And he can't stealth. Look at him.
Well,
Well, what are you good at, Nim, and what sort of
I'm-
situations do you not want to get into?
I'm
Killing a fuck ton of kobolds and undead from the looks of it.
I
That's their sweet spot.
That's true.
well, apparently I haven't really done that much before.
Yeah, Vince is a bit jelly at the firepower she had.
I mean, I'm pretty good at talking to people.
I don't think we can talk to this creature. Well, we could
No.
probably try, but it would probably lop your head off before you got a question out.
No, but I'm usually not that lucky with stealthing, as you might have noticed. I can do it sometimes, but it's I nature kind of hates me.
Fair enough.
Why don't we, as we could say, you know, little games of dice or something like that. Let the coin or the dice decide then.
But I do think it's better if we can see it before it sees us. Because Is it getting the jump on us is a very bad thing?
Yes.
That was my thought, yes. If you would like to leave it up to chance, Gemini pulls out his playing card set.
Right.
I say we go for high card. Whoever gets high card, they make the decision.
Okay.
Okay. No, I mean, I'm happy enough to do this in game, but logistically, outside of the game, how are we doing that?
Everybody rolls a d20, highest one wins.
That's fine. I can work with that. Okay.
Well, there's 4 cards. A D4 could do as well.
D4 could do.
D4.
Yeah, but then you can have the same height.
No.
That's
Chance
true.
that you have the
D20
same
is
height
better.
as-
Okay.
D20. Right.
Now, I do have a question logistically. Gemini has proficiency with this. Does that add anything?
If
But
you-
it's chance.
If you put it
Exactly.
in, if you actually try to kind of put the deck in your favor,
Of course he is.
then yeah,
Sleight of hand.
Yep. So should I make a sleight of hand check beforehand?
yeah.
Natural one, please. Never beg for any
dude.
more in my life.
I'm guessing we're all rolling then, are we?
For my sleight of hand, that's an 18.
18. Okay, so you kind of shovel the card deck, you cut it a couple of times, you flip a couple of cards, and you. All right, who picks first?
Hold out the deck.
All right, so everybody roll a d20. I'll add a specific amount to your roll, Gemini.
That is 15 for Vince.
11.
3 for Vern.
Ellie, do
Ellie
you?
is not gonna take a card because she doesn't want to decide.
So
Okay,
far,
so we have
15, depends how
a
much you add.
15 for Vince, and how much did you roll, Gemini?
11.
11.
Tie.
It's your card. You just have 1 point higher than Vince, Gemini.
So we stealth. I put the cards away and start stealth.
Wait, were we supposed to follow
Vince.
or were we supposed to stay?
Vince follows stealthing.
Yeah,
So
you're supposed
not
to
splitting.
follow.
Yeah,
I
not splitting
think
the
we'll
party.
all try to stealth then.
All right.
And Gemini will try
Everybody
to stay
roll for stealth. And I believe, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, that you
I'm a
will get a disadvantage.
Yep, I'm at disadvantage.
And Gemini will try to stay about 15, 20 feet ahead of the party so that he can get a view
There you
beforehand.
go.
With
Okay.
my mighty bonuses, that's a 5.
Hey, I rolled
Yeah.
better than you!
7.
It's a 6!
I done better than Nim. Dear God.
Oh, my God.
7.
21.
Oh,
21.
jeez.
All right, Gemini, you kind of go up ahead, and you're well, I'll leave it to you, but it kind of seems to you like the rest of the party is just giving you the middle finger because they're trying to be extra loud, like I walk around this branch when I can chop right through it.
When I notice and I'm just making a lot of noise, I'm just gonna be like, fuck it, and just walk normally because that seems to make less noise.
Mhm.
Which it probably does.
Vince will wait for Gemini to look back, and anytime he glances back, he's just like,
Gemini will sigh heavily. Just
Mage
the
hand?
will to live escaping his lungs.
Vern is actually trying very hard, but it's not working.
Crack, crack, yeah.
Oh yeah.
"Need about double E40 on that."
Gemini just lets out the most depressed sigh he can muster and says, "Fine then, shall we just call it here?"
Told you nature hates me.
What?
Vince
I
just,
thought
like,
I
has
was
a
doing
small
very good,
flea
actually.
on top of his staff and everything, just like, didn't work out, did it?
Oh,
Well, was I not doing well? That's the best I've ever stealthed in a while.
yes.
Right,
Vince,
I'm sorry,
did
you were
really
you were
good.
just as loud as me, which is actually kind of amazing because I'm normally not that loud.
That's yeah. I told you so.
He did.
Told
Okay.
you.
So, shall we just make a whole bunch of noise since we're doing that anyways and try to call it to us? Maybe set up an ambush.
Let's just so we're all on the same page. Jokingly, we kind of make fun of the fact that people make a lot of sound. If you're trying to be stealthy, you're still stealthy. But because everybody is trying to be stealthy and is really focused on it, every sound you make is just loud. It's not like they're making
Yeah.
more
Mm.
sound than they would normally walking.
Oh, okay.
They still
like-
do their best to
Except
be
for Vince.
quiet.
Okay.
Got it.
All
right.
Yeah, it's like
Vince-
trying to
Vince
compete
is-
with silence.
Yeah, Vince is doing like battle rolls and like landing really hard. And you're just like fucking Dark Souls going around an enemy.
Fat rolls.
Yeah, fat rolls is it.
Vern thinks that this is actually stealthier and does a few of them as well. Yeah.
And that's it. He fucking now.
Okay, now they're
You just
taking
lie
this
flat
at
on
you.
your back.
No. No.
Yep.
Ellie doesn't do it. She has a cat.
I'm like, where's, where's Ellie whenever you're doing this roll?
Oh dear.
2 feet sticking out underneath.
No, I will keep out of his way. Like,
I've jumped on her previously. I think she would stay away from
yeah,
me.
yeah, big dragon,
Oh,
bad
Oh,
dragon.
that's true.
All joking
Right.
aside, being able to jump and do a roll in armor would be quite impressive.
That's true.
That's chainmail. I mean,
Yeah,
It
It's still
bends.
heavy.
But it
Yeah.
bends.
Vern does have a good strength, so I'd say he'd be okay.
Yeah, yours is
Not
yours-
quiet.
You're stronger than mine. Yeah.
Mm.
So, do we keep walking or do we set up an ambush?
We could try the idea I was saying previously, which was the noisy party makes the distraction via walking in, while we keep pace with the stealthy party, who deploy an ambush.
Actually, Vince takes off a bit of rope from around his waist and goes, "I can make a hiding place."
With rope.
Yes. And he'll sort of stretch it out and go and use rope trick to create a little pocket dimension. That's a 2nd level spell, so we're staying here.
Well then,
This is where we stay.
apparently our decision has been made for us.
Yeah.
How many people can fit?
Let me see.
I was gonna say, can I just roll, or like, can I just start looking around rather and see if I see something, see if there's signs of bad creatures or something?
It can hold 8 people.
Holy hell.
Roll your perception, Allie.
Lol. 9.
9. No, it doesn't seem any different from the force you've been throttling to with the Dryad.
Then how about
Well,
you and
what
Ellie
is
get
this?
into the pocket dimension. And then Varen and I will try to lure the creature out.
I was thinking Ellie might be good for that because they said it eats children.
I'm not a
and depending
child.
on- Let
It
me
doesn't know that.
He sort of like taps her on the head. It's like, let me finish. It's okay.
I will just
And
walk
depending
away from
on-
winds and stand like at least 10 feet away so you can't reach me.
He'll use his staff to just. As long as about 6 foot.
Do it again and you're gonna
Goodness.
eat magic.
Is that pocket
Come on,
dimension
Rob.
safe?
Completely, I think. Haven't tested it. We'll find out.
Here's another
Depending on how-
suggestion.
Picks up on kids, on children, how it detects whether they're children. If it's just on sight and visual, Ellie would potentially look like a human child.
Gemini
Right.
gives up and just starts casting the ritual comprehend languages.
I will
Are
insult
they
Vince
talking in a different
Gnomish.
language, are they?
No, I don't think so.
No, we weren't.
No,
Hmm.
it's
No,
just
not at all.
speaking common.
Not at all. He
Oh.
he knows. He just starts casting the ritual.
Okay, I have another suggestion as well. I was granted our last rest there. Something called Bless. I didn't exactly know what to use it for, but it could come in handy for stealth or anything really. It's, it buffs people beyond their ability. That's if you want to try that again. I don't know if it's going to be successful.
Vince is like leaning on the rope, going, "I'm staying here. That I made that look easy. I know I'm great, but that was a lot of fucking effort to do that to make that hole."
Right. Who's going to be carrying the hole, or does it move?
Stationary, I believe. Let me check.
So we're running into the same situation we did before, where yous are going to be too far away from the party.
It doesn't. Well, no, because we stay here and lure it to us. We're in its domain, according to the Dryad lady. So we hide in there, or some of us hide in there, out of the way, lure it to us, and then out of the hole and ambush. It can't attack in there. So no attacks and spells can cross the entrance of this extra-dimensional space. Straight out of a textbook.
Right.
In fact, yes, if he can do that, he'll be like reading out of a book. Yeah, it says here. It says here.
Magically photocopied.
Yeah.
From the
So,
wizard
Gemini,
Xerox.
does this work as a plan, does it?
Just doing his ritual. Just doesn't care about what's happening.
I think he's in.
Just leave him to that then.
Well, if you wanna
Ellie?
ambush it in there, we kinda need someone to stay outside to make him come here, and I am not gonna walk into that pocket hole with the pointy hat. And I will say pointy hat in a quite rude fashion. Like you can tell, I'm not just referring to him as a pointy hat. I mean something bad with it.
Vince is like,
Hmm.
been called worse.
From his
Respect-
previous
respect
magic,
that.
I wouldn't trust it either, but... Vince, would you like to prove us that it works?
Sort of looks out and goes, yeah, of course, yeah.
Because you're
Looks at her. Yeah.
such an amazing magician, you know.
Yeah,
Of course it works, yes.
yeah. I mean, there's no flames on this thing, but yeah. And he
Yes, I was actually
Calls up
very
and-
surprised, yes.
just sort of pokes his head in. The inside of it, it doesn't actually say. Can it be decorated in any way, shape, or form?
No,
is it,
it's just a
is it in
dark hole.
pocket dimension?
Nope, just
Yeah.
dark.
Okay. It's not the first one he's been in. Yeah. He gets himself up the rope and pokes his head in as we look around.
Just read to us what the spell does.
So you touch a length of rope. One end of the rope then rises into the air until the whole rope hangs perpendicular to the ground. At the upper end of the rope, an invisible entrance opens up to an extra-dimensional space until the spell ends. The extra-dimensional space can be reached by climbing to the top of the rope. The space can hold as many 8 medium or smaller creatures. The rope can be pulled into the space, making the rope disappear from the outside view. Attacks and spells cannot cross the entrance in or out of the space, but those inside can see out for as long as a 3 by 5 foot window at the top of the rope, and anything inside the dimensional space drops out whenever the spell ends.
And how long does the spell last?
It lasts an hour.
An hour. Okay. So you see Vince climb up. I'll have you roll just because this is not a casual situation. I'll have you roll an athletics to climb the rope.
It's a natural one.
There you go.
Vince hangs himself.
It's such a beautiful thing if the dice tell the story for you.
Yeah.
You kind of go like, I can do it, and you drop to the ground.
Gemini laughs while casting.
Vince stands back up and he's like, "Yeah, that's secure. That ain't coming down."
But Varen is stuck in that face moment.
Vince will try again.
Roll again.
Please, no more ones.
How far into my ritual am I?
Was that athletics or acrobatics? Actually, I don't.
It's athletics.
Athletics. That's
Owen.
3. That's 10.
10. All right. With some effort, you climb up the rope, and you guys see him climbing, and you're kind of looking at, because he didn't really thoroughly explain the spell, but as he climbs up, you're like, all right, this is impressive. I mean, he's climbing a rope that is stationary in midair, but all of a sudden you see his hands start to disappear, and his head disappears, and his body just vanishes.
Can I find like a
And-
stick or a rock or something? Or maybe a pebble?
Yeah.
And
Or
I
fire
will
You
throw
are in
it
the
at
forest. I
where
suppose
he
you could
disappeared.
find a rock. You roll it. You throw it.
Yeah, I throw
and
it and see what happens.
it just it passes through.
Ow!
Vince, are you
Vince
still
throws
alive?
it back. He pokes his head out, so just like sort of, so he's like.
Yeah, you just see a head coming down.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's terrifying.
Yes.
Another rock
it
just hits you in the
is.
head. Oh, sorry.
Floating head. Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's fine. It's very, very spacious.
What's in there?
Looks back, goes.
Nothing.
Me.
Oh. Well, could you come out of it just to make sure you haven't lost any limbs?
What do you mean? I am out. Oh my god, where's my body?
Oh,
And he's a wizard?
was that an attempt on a joke? I hope that was an attempt on a joke.
Yeah, it made Vince laugh. It's fine. Yes, and then he crawls out and gracefully descends the rope. So graceful, in fact, no roll was needed.
You kind of slide down, and you manage to land on the ground.
Is my ritual done?
Yeah.
Okay then. Very good. Whoever wishes to hide should go inside of Vince's hole, and whoever wishes to make a distraction can do that. Meanwhile, I'll stealth into the forest. That way we can attack from multiple sides. How's that?
Sounds a lot like splitting the party.
Okay.
Not if you stay
Um,
close enough.
Yes, I'll only be within 20 feet or so.
Yes, he will probably stick close to me, but stealth. I will draw the creature out, and then when the creature is drawn out, I will run back to where Vince and Ellie are located.
That works for me. Gemini goes to stealth.
Vince will turn to Vern and go, as a form of distraction, you still have an axe on you, don't you?
What? The axe?
An axe?
And I have plenty of axes, yes.
Could maybe fell a few trees, create a bit of cover, make a lot of noise, and potentially effective at the
I
same
thought
time.
we were supposed to protect the forest, not hurt it.
Yes, that you hear Gemini in the distance.
Yes.
I don't think she'll mind as long as it kills
I
this
think she will.
thing.
She will.
I don't think so.
Well,
She'll
we
be fine.
outrule you, so yes, she will.
Are
Yes.
we in like a glade, or is it just like more forest?
No, you're in the middle of the forest. There's no open space or anything. You're just standing next to a couple of trees.
Also, this is a bad space to fight.
Yes.
Or a good space.
I think we have plenty cover as it is. We are in a forest.
Yes,
Fair enough.
that we are.
Right. Shall we stick to the plan?
Apparently, yeah.
Okay.
Gemini's
Um,
already.
Yeah, I've seen Gemini stealth before, so I'll assume I know what his pace is, and I will walk forward casually, just like normal, but with my weapons drawn and high on perception.
Vince will go up into his hole.
Dude.
Right up into his own hole.
Okay.
I need to be right back 2 seconds.
Okay.
Just filming what happens.
Okay, I'm assuming they're both in the hole.
Yeah. So Vince and
Um,
Ellie both climb into the hole.
Whenever we
And-
go in, I pull up the rope so that it's not dangling,
Okay.
and keep an eye out.
All right. What do Varen and Gemini do?
Gemini casts Mage Hand and sends it over to Varen, and it makes it flip him off and then go into the sky as high as possible for all to see.
I suppose
Okay.
that works as a distraction. Yes. Okay. I say just act casual, and then just walks forward at the same pace, knowing that Gemini is somewhere close by.
All right. Do you walk in a certain direction?
In the direction we were walking,
Okay.
that was pointed out by the Dryad, I guess. Yeah.
Don't walk
I'll-
too far from Vince's hole.
No, I'll keep walking, obviously, and keep an eye out perception-wise to see if I can figure out where this creature, if it's coming at me.
All right. Roll your perception. You too, Gemini.
Yes.
Because I'm assuming you're staying relatively close to Varen.
Yeah, within 20 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that's not the best. That's a 13.
That's a 19 for me.
19. All right. Nice. All right. So you keep a good eye out for anything unusual that you see within the forest, and you start to move. And Gemini, roll your stealth to see how
Yeah.
stealthy you remain within him, close by.
It's plus. Yep, 22.
22. Nice. Okay, so Varen, you kind of move, and as you leave the spot where you guys were standing, and you start to look around, for the first couple of steps, you have the idea like, oh yeah, Gemini's close by, but then you kind of pause for a moment, and you have the idea that you had a good view of whatever is going on around you, but damn, you think you lost Gemini.
And I'm guessing I see him perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't see him. All right, I see. Yeah. Okay, I'll assume that he's keeping up with me. So.
Okay, so you casually walk out and keep an eye out, and just
It's
look
probably a
around
good thing
and-
if I don't see him. It means that the creature probably won't see him.
pretty good assumption, I would say. You move onwards, and you don't make a show out of making extra noise or anything, right? You just walk.
The finger is
just
trailing
like-
us.
You know, just like normal, but with weapons drawn, expecting
Alright.
a fight sort of thing.
All right, so you move onwards, and you have your weapons out. How long do you walk?
I'm not sure. I probably would keep going. We'll say up to maybe 120 feet, maybe.
Okay,
Roughly.
so that's not very far.
Yeah, see if anything comes out then, because I know that's sort of like the range of like vents and stuff like that. So
Okay, so you walk about 120 feet. You hear a couple of birds, and you think you hear some animal noises in the distance, but you don't see anything pop out or unnatural or unusual appear.
While I'm in
can
my
I still
hole,
see the
Vince
mage
will
hand?
Cast mage.
Sorry, what did you say, Brian?
Just while I'm in my hole, Vince will cast mage armor on himself.
Okay.
Can I
Um,
still see the mage hand?
Depending on how high Gemini brought it,
I put it like above the tree tops for everyone to see.
above the treetops, but
Yeah,
then
just
you can't see it through the leaves.
Well, I assume that whatever is up there would be able to see it if there is something that can see the sky.
Yeah, but the tree branches and the leaves are pretty thick, so
Okay, then I'll
Let's
just
see
put
what else
it
to come
down
up.
to like where they're not so thick, so anybody with a good eye line can see it.
Okay. So yeah, you would probably still see it there.
Okay, what do I need to know?
Hmm.
Nothing. They're just walking and they try to
I can
alert
still
something.
see the mage hand. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'll look sort of back towards the mage hand and sort of whisper in Draconic, assuming that Gemini can hear me. Should we carry on, or is this too far?
Do I hear him?
Yeah.
Gemini will use the mage hand. He'll stop flipping it off and then like just point back towards the hole.
Understood. And then I'll start walking back. So
All
this
right.
is going to be too dangerous if we carry on.
Very well. So you walk back and you both return back at. You look around a bit. Yeah, you're pretty sure this is where the hole was.
Where do we see them?
Yeah. You see them standing there.
Oh,
Stick a hand out of the hole and wave. Just...
Vince.
Mage hand will high five.
Yeah. Vince, I went about say 120 feet roughly. Nothing so far, but I'm assuming it maybe has a layer, and it's maybe not going to come out. Could get more dangerous the further I go. The further I have to run.
Vince will poke his head out and go, okay, well, you could go and look for it, but might I suggest we take a quick break here? Just so I can get back
Spell slots.
the energy from putting this hole here. See, keeping it all in world. No spell slots here.
Do you just need a short rest?
Just 20 minutes, is that right?
Short rest up to an hour, is it?
It's usually an hour, but I'm usually making
okay. So then, just an
an
hour.
hour, depending. Sometimes I make it a little bit shorter.
Yeah. Basically, by the time my ass falls out of this hole, so after an hour, I'll disappear and
Yep.
I'll fall out. Sorry, me and Ellie will fall out. Actually,
I'm not inside.
no. After you left,
you
you were in.
I told you, did I
wait.
need to know something? Because she wouldn't agree to going inside because she's really upset with Vince at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So what have you been doing then?
I probably would have just like tried to hide around a tree or something, you know?
Okay.
Stay still, stay out of sight, stay cool.
Awesome.
So yes,
So-
Vince, is Ellie in there?
Yeah. Hello. Hello. Nope.
Ellie? Where is Ellie?
Yeah?
Oh, where did you come from?
I've been right here the
I
whole
thought
time.
you were in the hole.
No. Point Dad is in there.
I
don't trust
thought
it.
That was the plan.
No, it wasn't.
Oh. Okay. Anyway, we couldn't find the thing. I'm sure you heard.
Yeah, yes.
So we're going to take a short rest, I guess. Gemini looks
Mage
to the
hand,
brush.
thumbs up.
Yes. That works. So short rest.
All right. You take a moment
Vince gets out of the hole so he doesn't fall out whenever it stops.
Yeah. So you will gather your energy for a moment. I don't think there's any hit points lost or anything, so you guys don't need to spend hit dice to regain anything.
While they're doing that, can I just keep watch, like perception around? Because
Yeah.
Gemini doesn't need a rest.
Of course. Roll perception.
Yeah, I'll keep my perception as well.
Hell no, that is not good. That's a 9. Ugh.
All right. No, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. Neither do you, Varen. And a short hour passes, and you, Vince, feel the magical energy that you exerted to cast this spell slowly returning to you.
Yes.
So,
Right.
Stand up and be like, right, let's go get this thing.
Into
Excellent.
the belly of the beast.
You guys move onwards into the forest. All right. What is your marching order?
Baron's front.
Gemini is right behind.
Vince will be third then.
I will probably take up the rear and keep an eye on Vince. Actually, I will keep an eye on
Alright.
the surroundings as well, but I will toss an eye at Vince every now and then.
Quickly,
Very well.
diamond formation.
Everybody, roll your perception.
Forgetting what my oh
Ooh,
god, that's even
That's a
worse.
sweet one. I think it's a 23.
It's a 7.
Nice.
Yes, need to
17
double check my
for
modifier.
That's
Perception?
a 8.
23.
8, okay.
23.
All right. So, Varen and Ellie, you will both notice very subtly how the forest you're walking into is getting darker and darker. You can't explain why. If you want, you can roll a nature check, but you definitely notice that there is less light coming through, and the trees and things seem to be somewhat more misshapen and have a darker appeal to them. And this is not like, it's enough lovely bright weather, and all of a sudden, boom, you're in a dark forest, and everything is there's only crows and wolves looking at you. It's very
Black Swan.
subtly creeping in there, and you can't say like, look at that tree. That is just a spooky tree. It's the feeling you guys are getting, and it's the atmosphere that's slowly changing around you. And you guys are walking for a long time, and you come to a point where Vince and Gemini, you start to notice it too. The trees look somewhat different, more misshapen, more stunted, and there's an icky feeling hanging around.
Guys, I don't like this feeling.
I might
How-
do
how
a nature
dark
check
is
on
it?
this.
Sorry, there were two people talking at the same time.
Go ahead, Brins.
How dark is it?
It's not too dark. You can still see, and you can still act and accordingly and normally, but it's definitely darker than it was before.
Right. Can I do a nature check on this to see if I
Yeah,
know
sure. Roll
why?
your nature.
That's probably just... Oh, it's a 12.
A 12. You look around, and it's hard to tell, but as far as you can make out, it just seems that the forest has gone through some sort of, well, mutation of sorts. There are just different fauna here that grows here, but it's a little out of place, you would say, and it's maybe there's something in the ground or something in the water. It's strange.
Yeah. It's sort of just giving me sort of an uneasy feeling, but it feels
Yeah.
like the canopies are getting thicker and thicker.
Yeah.
Can Vince
Um,
do a wee Arcana check just to see whether there's any magical reason that these have went all cloud?
Sure.
Nope.
No.
7.
It's fucking
Vernal.
nature, man. It makes no sense to
Yeah.
you.
Trees.
Vern will turn to Vince and be like, Vince, do you want to cast some light, or do we want to stay stealthy? We're not being very stealthy, like, but...
Vince immediately throws up a light ball. Yeah, sure.
Mhm.
Does it affect the light in the area?
Yeah, it does. There's more light now.
Okay, I suppose we carry on.
All right. You move onwards, and as you do, you realize that it slowly starts to get actual darker because you're coming closer upon the evening, and everybody roll either a nature check. You have to decide. You roll a nature check, and the difficulty will be lower, or a perception check, but the difficulty will be higher, and the difference is quite a bit.
Okay.
Right.
Ooh, yeah, I'll go
So
nature.
what do you roll?
Nature's not too bad.
I think I'll stick with nature.
All right.
I'll go perception.
If
I'll go
it's
nature.
quite a bit higher, I will still stick with nature because it's not that much of a difference.
Okay.
Lovely.
16 for perception.
Just dodge.
16
Natural
perception
20.
for you, Gemini.
Yeah. hmm
Okay.
Natural 20 for Vince over.
Natural 20.
That's a natural one for me.
Okay.
I rolled a 3.
Ah, there you go.
So that's a 5.
Okay. So, Vince, you look around and you're like, fucking nature. I don't know if I'm not gonna burn the whole place down and just make sure that nothing bad is ever here. But as you do, and at this point you've been walking through this dark part of the forest for a couple of hours, and you have the idea that you're kind of leaving it. You're kind of again walking out of it, but you can tell that the sun is setting and it's getting a bit darker by just the lack of the sun going down. And in the distance, you will hear movement. Something is moving, and it's quite a ways away.
Vince will turn to the rest and go, guys, it's getting dark. I think we're leaving the icky, for want of a better word, area. But there's something out there.
Wait.
We're leaving?
He'll
What do you
point
mean?
in
We're
roughly the
still in
direction.
this. We're still in the same place. What do you mean leaving?
I mean, we're leaving. The ickiness is. I'm assuming I'm saying this right. That we're leaving ickiness, not the forest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
So if there was a
you're
layer,
slowly coming back into what you would say the natural forest would be.
yeah, basically, if there is a layer, I think we've went past it.
What direction is the sound?
He'll point in whichever direction it is.
It's
If he
a
knows.
bit to the side, even a bit further away from the darkness than where you guys are walking. But it's more or less in your direction. If you're walking this, it's a bit to the side.
Vince will sort of point with his staff, just like, that way, I think.
Should we check it out?
Well,
Um,
yes.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, hold on, I know. And he'll wave and poof who into existence. And he'll send
You
it
see,
with
he
his brand new
still
leg.
has two claws. One of them made out of wood or vines, more or less.
And he'll send who off roughly in that direction.
It flies off.
Like, and he'll look through his eyes and sort of say to everyone, "Hold on, let me see."
All right. Roll a perception check for who.
Does that take my bonuses or his?
I believe it does yours.
Mine. So that. Perception, did you say?
Yeah.
That is.
It might be that who has a advantage on perception checks. Do you have the stats of an owl with you?
I'm not sure.
I think is it for listening, maybe?
Let's see. An owl has on.
No, I can give it.
Hold on, I'm using Edge here, so it'll take about 4 years to live.
You can't just click on creatures on
Yeah,
D&D.
there you go. It has keen hearing and sight. The owl has advantage on wisdom in brackets perception checks that rely on hearing or sight.
There you go. So you can roll with perception. With advantage.
Okay, now it's 18 still.
18. Okay. You who flies forward, and he just very, for some reason, now that he has his second claw, he seems to be less stumbling through the trees. He just kind of glides past them, and you see a woman there, human woman, who is hooded, but the hood is kind of sunken back a bit, so you can see her features and some locks of hair, and you see her having a basket, and she's plucking what seems to be herbs and mushrooms and stuff. And as Who kind of breaks through the tree line, she looks up and drops her bag for a moment, and then sees what it is and just quickly starts to gather everything that fell out of her basket.
I'll tap Vince on the shoulder.
In fact, if it's in any way linked, if Who's flying, he sort of goes, whoa! Sort of wobbles
Yeah,
a
we
bit.
can do that.
And Vince will snap back to his own senses and be like, "It's there's a woman there. Looks ordinary enough. Looks like she's out foraging."
Should we warn her, or should we move further into the forest?
I think if she's out this far, she's probably aware of it. It might be worth potentially talking to her, see if she knows any more. He sort of turned to Gemini. Like, thoughts?
Gemini stands there for a moment, thinks about it, and then just starts walking in the direction of the woman.
All right.
Okay.
There you go. Vince will follow behind and call Who back to himself.
As in that he flies back to you?
Yeah. Just
Okay.
well, as he know, he wouldn't. He would just dismiss him.
So he just
if
poof, vanishes?
The guard's looking at him, just poof, feathers, just.
Okay. Gemini, roll your perception. You're the one in front at this point.
There we go. That's 21.
You hear a and you hear footsteps running.
Vince is like,
how far away does it sound?
You already started moving in that direction quite resolutely, like, okay, whatever, I'm going that way. So it's not that far. You can't make out like it's this many feet, but it's not extremely far.
I'll just call out. Don't worry, that's just our owl. It's perfectly fine. We're a bit lost, and we need some help, if you could.
You hear a...
That did not sound good.
What was that?
Varen takes off in that direction if he can hear it.
Oh, Lord, we're going to grandmother's house. Okay, we're in Little Red Riding Hood.
Yep,
If you see a wolf, kill it.
Granny!
Or Granny.
You move in that direction, and you all do, I'm assuming? You stay together? Okay. So you move closer, and you will see a woman. You would say she's early 20s probably, and she is lying on her back, and there's a bit of blood on her forehead, and you see her just getting up a bit drowsy, and there's a one of those baskets that has like it's not really a basket where all sides are standing up. It's just more like a U kind of, and it's quite broad, and you see that everything that was on it is now pretty much scattered over the forest floor.
I'll walk up and start picking up all the things that scattered and putting them back in the basket for her.
I
Vince will
will.
go over and check her head.
Yeah, I will
Varen
like
just sort of
slowly follow there as well.
Jumps. Yeah, jumps out and sort of like scans the area for threats.
And
All
so
right.
they're like, going, sorry, that was
Um,
my owl. He does that. It's okay, and starts like tending to her head wound.
What kind of stuff am I picking up?
they seem to be herbs and some mushrooms of sorts, different sorts.
Pocket of mushroom.
Okay.
He's got a pocket of mushroom. And
as you kind of Vince, you kind of approach her. She scrambles and says, "Please don't hurt me, please."
He sort of holds his hands out. He's like, no, we're here to help. We're here to help. And,
As she looks at all of you and sees you and Gemini as you're kind of picking up the things that she spilled. Says, take him. I just don't hurt me.
Gemini will smile and then just like not even walk. He'll skip to her and he'll bow very over the top and sort of hand over the basket and be like, "For you, my lady."
She carefully takes the basket and she looks at you, Ellie. Says, "Oh, are you a gnome?"
Child.
Yeah. Why?
Oh, good. Who are these people?
My
We're
travel
right here.
companions.
Okay.
We're. I will like glance at them and be like, we're trying to make the forest a safer place. Like, I don't know how much I should say, kind of tone of voice, but and
Gemini. I'm sorry, go ahead.
and we didn't expect to find anyone here. We were told this is a dangerous area.
It is.
Are you okay?
She kind of wipes the blood from her head. It's just a small cut, but she's yeah, I'm all right. I'm okay. I was just there was a howl and it vanished into thin air.
It's a magical owl.
It's like, yeah, sorry, that's he's my friend. He does that. It's perfectly okay.
She kind of grabs the basket from you, Gemini, and thank you.
You're welcome. Before we, I'm assuming, go our separate ways, as you seem very nonplussed by us, I have a simple question. We're looking for something that is evil in this forest. We were sent here to destroy it. So my question is, it's actually in three-part, I suppose. First off, do you know what the evil is? Secondly, are you the evil thing? And third, how have you survived here for so very long if you are not the evil thing?
She thinks for a moment and says, I live with my mother and she protects me. I think I know what the evil is. It's a dark creature. It wears long robes and it comes out mostly at night. It marks its territory.
Well,
We know where not to go, but my mother, she knows some magic and she knows how to protect us.
I can't help but notice that it's dark out. You seem to know the territory quite well, and you're wearing robes. Are you the evil thing? You can be honest. We'll just kill you if you are.
No?
Insight check.
Hi.
Varen pulls out his.
An eye on the shoulder, and be like, at least you.
Varen
Just
pulls
go
out his
saying things like that.
his holy radar and casts divine sense.
And
Alright.
I'll insight check her.
roll your insight and roll your divine sense.
Oh, it's just a normal thing if celestial, fiend, or
Okay.
what else?
14.
If within 60 feet away.
All right. No, you do not detect anything celestial, fiend, or undead, and
Hallowed ground. That's about it.
or hallowed ground. And she seems scared and emotional, and you don't think that she's lying about the fact that she is the evil thing.
Right. Okay. Calm down. It was just a question. We have to be very careful because we do not know what we're dealing with.
I should be getting home.
Yes, you should, but not yet. First off, I just want to know where, generally, are you not allowed to travel? You see, we're trying to help you by killing this evil thing.
She points in the direction where you came from.
Okay, I see. Huh. And it doesn't leave that creepy area.
Sometimes, but not often.
Got it. And your mother, she knows magic.
Yes, but she's sick. She kind of looks at the basket that with herbs and stuff in it. I'm trying to help her.
Varen picks up an ear. How sick? What is wrong?
I don't know. She's never had this before. She doesn't move. She just sleeps, and I try to feed her broth, and well, she knows some remedies, and I'm just trying to give her back her strength.
Do you need assistance? I am a healer of sorts.
Oh, hell.
You're a healer.
Yes. If she's under any ailments or diseases, I could probably help.
Yes, please.
No,
It turns to the rest of the group and goes, I feel that I must help them.
Yes, of course you do. Gemini just deflates.
But maybe it's not a bad thing, because if it's active at night, maybe it's better to hunt it during the day when we have the upper hand.
That is true, too.
Possibly, but then it's harder to find.
Yes,
Yes.
that's
I
an
would
issue.
have said we camp out in the dark spot for tonight.
I have an idea.
What? Are you crazy?
Yes,
You don't have to
it
come.
is.
Correct.
Yes, no, that's the
She
worst
looks at
idea.
the sky and says, I have to go. I should be inside before it gets completely dark.
Well then, I have an idea. I pull out the berries. How many of those do I have?
10.
10 berries. I hand her 2 berries. I say, this was given to me by another creature who heals. They were meant to help us in our fight. Try giving them to your mother, and we will kill the beast. And then afterwards, if you still require help, Varen can go help you. How does this sound? Everybody good with this?
Varen's going to take a look at those berries. See if he knows what
Vince-
they are and what they do.
Vince sort of perks up and goes,
Both roll your
Fair.
history or arcana.
Right.
Vince will sort of look at Varen and go, do you not have some potions of healing? Small drop of that
yes.
might sort out most ailments, or at the very least keep said person
From what-
alive until we're done.
Yes, but from what I know, it only heals cuts and bruises. If it's something worse, it'll not do it.
Can't hurt.
That's a 18. I'm gonna pick Arcana.
Okay. These are good berries. They will minutely heal you. But the majority of what it does is that it feeds you for a complete day. One berry is enough for one day.
Right, so it doesn't heal diseases or
No.
ailments. Yeah.
No.
How bad is your grandmother, you say, or mother?
Mother.
Is she having hot sweats?
Yes.
Is she responding?
Less and less.
I don't know if she has much time.
Yes,
She
I'm
looks.
afraid nothing can
Her
be done.
eyes kind of widen as she said,
No, I didn't
Sure.
mean it in that way. I can't tell if she's. The berries might keep her for another while, but after this creature, I will return.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. She
Uh,
kind of hands out her basket for you to drop the berries in.
I drop them in.
Thank you.
Yes.
where is your house located from here, so that I know where to go?
It's about 20 minutes that way.
Marks that on his mental compass.
I really have to go. I'm sorry. It's getting
Yes.
darker. But you need to be very, very careful if you stay here during the night, especially if you go further that way. Please, I would hate
How
for you.
much longer before it decides to come out to play?
She looks up. It's hard to tell from here, but I think half an hour.
Okay. Thank you. I will return.
She bows her head for a moment and just hurries off.
Vince sort of stretches and goes, "Well, at least we know we've got somewhere to retreat to if need be."
Yes.
Sort of glances at Varen. Is like, "Yes, and we will retreat this time if we need to. Yes."
That's if we're alive.
Oh, I will be. I'm staying way back this time. He's got this.
I would suggest that. Good things didn't happen last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
What are we game plan?
Yes,
Do
Ellie?
we go back into the forest? Maybe set up a camp? Maybe stay outside of the camp? Maybe lure it into the camp and then attack?
from what happened the last time, I don't think camping is a good option.
Well, she said it was only going to be about half an hour or so before it.
Yes.
But I
before it
mean, we
came
don't
out, so
set.
I'd say
We don't actually camp. We make it look like we set camp.
Oh, we could go relax somewhere and then set a small fire off in the distance, a small campfire. Keep an eye on it.
Yes, like an ambush. or
I know
something,
someone who
yes.
could light fire.
Varen will look towards Vince and go, how long did it take for us to go from one side of this sort of weird, icky domain to the other?
There are no actual strict boundaries, but you think you walk through it for about 2 hours or so.
Right. So it should take... We should meet it if it comes out in about half an hour.
Well, it might take a while to get to us, even if it notices us. Even if it notices us at all.
Yes, but if we make a mighty bonfire in the center of the forest, it's definitely going to notice
I
us.
agree with that. Small caption, top right corner of your screen. Vince like this.
Gemini,
Yes,
you're more stealthy. Do you approve of this plan?
that's fine. I will stealth out into the forest a bit away, and I will keep eye.
Ellie, are you okay with this?
Yeah. Sounds like a good plan.
Okay, we're doing this then.
Let's do this. Better go check it out.
So what do you do?
I guess we walk for about half an hour and then maybe decide to put a fire down somewhere.
Yeah, find out.
Okay, so you walk half an hour into this darkened area?
Yes.
All right.
try and find a good spot that would be slightly as best to our abilities advantageous to fight
And
in. So maybe a bit of room
Yes.
or some
Yeah,
such.
like
and then
small clearing maybe away from trees so we don't set everything on
set it-
fire.
and set a fire in the middle of that.
All right. Very well.
And Gemini will stealth out into the tree line a little bit.
There you go.
And
So you set up a fire. You find a hiding spot, Gemini. What's the rest do?
Vince would use he would use control flames and try and make the bonfire as burn as bright as it can to make it quite noticeable, and then would head probably about 30 feet off to try and be away from it as much as possible and hide as well. Not like properly trying to be stealthy, but just like get comfortable, sort of out of sight, and
All right.
get ready for a wait.
Ellie would like to kind of climb a tree close to Vince and hide up in a tree. And also tell Fluffles
right.
to stay in the tree. She's going to have a good talk with the cat.
Okay.
Vern's gonna stick some rations on the fire and cook away for 5 minutes, have a few munches, and then just start practicing with his axe and shield.
You can stick some rations on a stick and start to put them above the fire. As you see, the fire is burning quite intently. You guys made a large fire, and as you're kind of cooking on it, and everybody is in their position, you see the fire is starting to die down. It just shrinks, it shrinks, it shrinks, and you're like, "What the hell is going?" It's out.
Does Vince see it starting to?
Yeah, the main source of light is all of a sudden like poof, gone.
So
it doesn't like blink out, but it shrinks quite rapidly, and then it just out.
So would it still resist his? Because he's using his magic to keep it large. Would it resist his attempts to keep it? Like, so would it go out in spite of him maintaining it?
You're maintaining it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, yes.
Okay.
Vern throws a log on it before it disappears. I guess
You throw a log on it, and you see the fire is trying to get to it, but something seems to just be pulling it back, and it just.
Can I make perception from my stealth position, see if I see anything that could be doing this?
Absolutely.
I will cast Divine Sense.
17.
17.
Okay. Whisper to Ellie and be like, "I think it's on its way. That went out, and I was keeping it up."
All right.
I will also then keep an eye out, seeing if it's on its way. I want to try to see it.
Roll a perception, Ellie. Gemini, you kind of look around, and it gets dark, so it's hard for you to make anything out.
Can Vince cast light and throw it where the bonfire was?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You, Varen, you don't sense anything.
I don't. Right.
No.
I rolled a 20 in total.
You rolled a 20.
In total,
You
not the
you look
natural
around.
20.
You look around with your dark vision, and you see in the distance, you see something moving. A large dark shadow, and it's kind of opposite from where you are.
Hey, Vince!
And it disappears.
Wait, the big shadow thing disappeared.
Yeah, it's just you see it for a moment, and then it just like it's gone, like it teleported somewhere.
Fucking Slenderman.
Right.
Vince?
I'm guessing Vern will probably go into perception now as well, but it's
It's
I saw. I will whisper this. Probably Vince is the only one that hears. I saw something, but it disappeared. Like
you now with the light going on, Gemini. You look around, and you think you saw a glimpse of the same shadow that Ellie saw, but you're not 100% sure.
I'll cast Mage Hand
Hmm.
about 23rd, about by where the fire is, so everyone can see it, and then have it just chase where the shadow was, just pointing. Just
Yes, that direction. That direction. Can I? What's it called? Can I ready a magic missile?
You
Like
can definitely, but if that would be like an action, if we would already be in combat.
Yeah.
So if you don't cast it
you'll
quite
fizzle.
shortly after you readied it, you lose your spell slot.
Oh, okay.
Vince will
Fair.
huck a firebolt in that direction.
I will ready a firebolt.
All right, so you
Already
Vince
vicious mockery.
rolls a firebolt, and it explodes for a moment, and you all three of you, or all four of you, kind of intently look at this explosion of light for a short moment, but you don't see shadow.
Right.
Ellie, roll your perception.
Yeah. 6.
6. You get this cold feeling behind you.
Behind me. Like in
Yes.
the tree behind me, or behind the tree behind me.
In the tree behind you.
Fucking fluffles.
Varen is going to ready an action.
Can
ready
I just
to cast
like
Hunter's Mark if he
switch?
sees it.
Can I switch around in the tree? Like just turn around and
Yeah,
look
sure.
behind me?
Yeah. You see something as you turn around. There's a large black thing behind you, and it just grabs you. Roll your let's see, what will I have you roll? Roll your wisdom.
What? Do we hear her make any noise? Do we hear any of this?
You're quite focused on what happened when the explosion went off. That makes some sound, and the only thing that you would be able to hear is Ellie kind of moving, and that's high up in the tree. So
So nothing.
Okay, a saving throw, right?
yeah, a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, yeah, 12.
12.
Yeah.
You kind of pull back as these claws just come at you and try to grab you, and you fall back out of the tree, and you bam land on the ground hard.
Ow!
How close to Vince is this? Is he just standing there next thing? Boom, no.
You take 7 points of damage as you smack onto the ground.
Whole trees.
Now I'm sure we hear that.
Yeah, you definitely you see like, whoa,
Do
Ellie kind of just dropping onto the ground.
do I see the shadow when I look over there anywhere?
You look up, roll a perception, everyone, except for Ellie.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Jesus Christ! Nope. That's a 7.
19.
That's just a 12 for Varen.
12. Vince, you have the idea that you see something there. There's something dark, but as your eyes kind of, because it's your light source is on the ground and it's kind of behind you, so it's kind of hard to make out. But you have the feeling that you see something shadowy and dark there, but it just disappears.
I get firebolt at its general direction or where it was.
Fluffles!
There's another.
Ah, something!
Oh dear.
Okay.
It's not a cat. I'll
So-
probably throw it back at me. Start batting it about
Ellie.
like a ball.
Yeah.
Roll a d20.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's a 3.
Roll a new. Oh
A
no!
3.
Roll a new cat.
Oh. There's an explosion in the tree where you left Fluffles.
Oh my god!
And well, that's you guys are not that far away from each other. Sorry, Varian, you said you did something. You
I
you
readied
ready
a
Hunter's Mark, right?
Hunter's Mark
Or-
until I seen it, but I'm guessing I haven't seen it yet. So
No.
And I literally
But-
read Vicious Mockery for when I see it.
Yeah. So you guys see there's just tiny bits of amber that quite quickly die out in the top of the tree. Ellie, your heart kind of sinks. You know you left Fluffles in there, and he's definitely not in the back of your cap or backpack or whatever.
Can I just like try to scramble back up the tree?
Roll your athletics.
Because I have to try to save Fluffles, and if he's up there, I wanna save him. I don't care about the rest right now.
You climb up
19.
as
Oh,
19.
wait,
You
athletics,
start
that's
to,
even higher. No, 18.
you start to climb up as your hands almost like slam into the bark, and you just I gotta get to it, and you just start to climb up. The rest of you kind of see her climbing up, and you hear and you feel there's this wind. And you see your lights that you've casted, Vince. They kind of flicker. They go out and on and out and on, and just
Gemini starts looking all around to see what's going on while trying to be stealthy.
roll your perception.
Here we go. Jesus. 10.
10. You look around, and
It's done.
the flickering of Vince's lights, it just you start to see shadows pretty much everywhere. They just shadows appear and disappear and appear and disappear, and it's just you're very happy that you're not epileptic or anything, because this would definitely trigger something. You're like, oh man, this is not good. And you hear, all of you will hear, maybe not Ellie because she's like fucking Rambo climbing the tree, but everybody on the ground will hear. There's a growling coming from everywhere.
still not seeing it, I
As
guess.
your lights die out.
I thought of something. While Ellie is climbing the tree, she would probably actually cast Alter Self. And get natural weapons, because it still probably would make it easier to climb. And
Yeah.
she's kind of going into this battle mode, ready to attack Wins if Fluffles is dead. Pretty much.
Okay.
Lots of PvP.
It's gonna be good.
Well, you killed my cat.
It wasn't your cat. It's okay.
But yeah,
The dryad said so,
she grows with some claws and fangs and goes
All
slightly
right,
more dragon-like.
you get meanwhile to the top of the tree, and you see there's black soot and things on the tree branches, and you see Fluffles lying there on his side.
Fluffles!
His fur is singed.
Fluffles! I will scramble to him, carefully pick him up.
You carefully pick him up, and he's limp. You pick him, and you support his head, because it immediately just kind of drops as you pick it up.
What the fuck? She will pretty much ramble like, Fluffles, please, okay, and like try to get Fluffles, check for signs, slightly hastily, but like.
Roll your medicine.
Yeah, medicine check.
Oh, okay, 15 plus something.
15. You
Plus something.
kind of lift its head, and you bring him to your ear, and You don't hear anything. So you start like just pressing on its chest to see if you can do anything to get things up and running again. Listen again, and it's quiet.
I think we're gonna have some PvP, guys.
Oh shit.
I'm guessing I'm not hearing this at all. I'm focused on the creature.
Well,
We're done
you-
with the growly shadows.
You guys are probably really focused on what's going on, so you will hear Ellie going like fluffles, fluffles. But that's the extent of what you hear.
Gemini wants no part of any of this and tries to stealth out of existence.
Would Vince
30, maybe you'll do it.
Yeah.
would Vince hear that and maybe make the connection that shit? That's where I threw a fire.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he is going to run. He's gonna go nope and fucking.
He's got a nope out of this.
Yeah.
Actually,
And
Gemini,
as he's running past, he'll sort of like as he's near Gemini, he'll be like, I think I killed the cat, and book it past him.
Gemini will sigh and try to stealth towards the cat to try and.
Did Farron hear that?
Yeah, he wouldn't have been quiet about it. Depends how loud the shadows are.
Farron remembers where the firebolt was and makes off.
All right. So Vince heads into the forest, leaving everybody else behind.
Jesus.
Oh yeah,
Very
Vince gone.
Don't split the party.
You
Also,
follow
before he
Vince, or you
killed-
go somewhere else, or you stay here. What do you do?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm going to head towards where I heard that firebolt go off and where Ellie is shouting fluffles.
Okay.
Does Gemini see him do that?
You see him kind of heading toward the tree. Was quite close by to him, so he heads towards the tree that you all saw. Ellie kind of like slamming her fingernails into the bark and just climbing up to get to her fluffles.
Once Gemini notices that Darren's on it, he's gonna stop and not go any further towards it to keep an eye. That's just
Roll.
Rosier. Just not even a thing. He's God.
Roll. I'll have to look up.
Initiative.
I should have had. I should have had this prepared.
Yeah, just Ellie and Vince roll initiative.
One moment, please. I'm sorry. I should have had this.
May I suggest something otherwise?
Yeah.
That we start the next session by rolling initiative?
Oh, that might be a good idea.
Because if we're going into
Yeah.
a fight, which it kinda seems like we are, it will definitely go past half, and it's only 10 minutes left.
Well,
Yeah,
two of us are going
absolutely.
into a fight, I
So
think.
we'll go into initiative just as soon as Gemini. You roll a Wisdom saving throw.
I was stealthed.
Bill must have seen you.
Yeah, I hope you're getting vicious mockeried. That'll be great. It's like, your hair shit.
11,
11.
I think.
You will take 3 points of psychic damage. And for the next attack that you do, you will have disadvantage.
The hell?
And we'll call it quits here, and we'll pick it up next time with an initiative roll.
God! Oh my god!
It seems Fluffle's getting his own arc story here.
Oh, yeah.
D&D's fun!
Yeah, it is. If I was Vince, I would be worried.
That's why he's running.
Yeah.
So, you're saying that if they're all making it out of there alive, and as a party, Vince is on somebody's shit list, big time.
Oh, really?
Really, I don't think that's much of a spoiler right now.
When you come to your senses, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Love some PvP.
D&D is
Really good.
fun. Let's make a party of strangers. It will work
guys.
great together.
It was a good time. We'll pick it up
Well,
next week.
This is what happens when you bring a cat. on-
Oh,
on an
you shut it.
adventure.
This is what happens when you bring a fire mage that can't control his fucking firebolts.
I can control them. I was aiming at the shadow. The cat just got in the way. Although, in fact, no, not even, because I didn't hit him directly. He was just near. It's fine.
This is a murderous stare at Vince. But I'm
It'll be
laughing too
fine.
hard.
Some PvP will be interesting. Won't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what could go wrong?
That great question: which is better, a warlock or a wizard? We'll soon find out. Next
Yeah.
time on Dragon Ball Z.
Clash of Magic.
You know, I think would Varen try and break it up if it came to a fight? I don't think Gemini would. I think Gemini would be sitting there with like pom-poms.
You never know.
Just
So did you
cheering.
stop the stream already?
No, I'm going to just in a moment.
No,
But yeah,
no, it's,
fun stream, everybody.
yeah.
Great
Yeah.
cliffhangers.
Mhm.
We
Yeah, I
have
think-
really
I think
great
our-
cliffhangers.
Well,
Yeah.
that situation escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see you next time, everybody. Where we find out how this unfolds.
How Vince dies by the
Yeah.
hands of.
If not the monster by Ellie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna have to worry about the creature very soon.
No, no.
We all
Do you
seen
know
how
what? It's fine.
vicious
I've got
Ellie gets.
Got plenty of spare characters. It's okay.
Oh,
Okay.
there we go.
There we
I've got
go.
a few rolled anyway, but slot them right in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, I'm gonna
Alright.
stop the stream then. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you next week. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're excited as we are to see how this unfolds. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.